Yeah.
We didn't start the fire.
Welcome to the GPSG podcast. My name is Isaiah Grayson. I'm UNC Charlotte's 2025 2026 Vice President. If we could introduce ourselves down the line to my left.
For sure. My name is S.L. Ivey. I am the 2025-2026 Graduate Student Body President, officially titled the Graduate and Professional Student Government President. To my left.
I'm Carolyn West. I'm the Graduate Professional Student Government Secretary of Health Affairs.
That you are.
Hi, my name is Naz. I'm serving for GPSG as a Secretary of International Student Affairs.
Thank you. For listeners who may not know, what exactly is GPSG and why does it matter to graduate and professional students at UNC Charlotte?
So GPSG, Graduate and Professional Student Government, is the representative body for graduate students on the campus of UNC Charlotte. We advocate for, and support graduate students. We do that through the organization and pretty much monitoring of graduate student organizations. And so every month, graduate students organizations, they send a representative to our Senate meeting, and we pretty much mobilize them to affect different areas of the campus life. Today, we have two of those areas in health affairs in Caroline and international students with Naz.
Gotcha. Okay. This year, GPSG's team is, to my understanding, 17 members strong, with roles ranging from finance committee to secretaries of health, veteran affairs, and sustainability. Could each of you introduce yourself and your role, and maybe share a fun fact about yourself outside of GPSG? If we could start on the far left and make our way back toward main episodes.
So as I say, thank you at the beginning for asking this question. So as I said, I'm serving this year as a Secretary of International Student Affairs. So first thing I'll go for, we need to do advocacy, representation, and then communication and outreach for all kind of international student, graduate, international student out there. And also I want to connect the ISSO, the office who is actually working for international student with international student and message them. And I want to be the bridge for them so that they know what they should do as an international student, what they might not do, and what they should follow and whom they should connect.
Yeah. So great. So thank you.
So I'm Secretary of Health Affairs. My main platform this year is student hunger, number one, and food insecurity. And then number two, parents. A lot of graduate students, they undergrads are parents, and it's very difficult to be a parent as a college kid because not only are you taking your classes, doing your homework, doing research, at the end of the day, you go home, you make dinner for your kids, put them to bed, you woke up in the middle of the night, and then do it all again the next day. So I want to advocate for student parents as well.
Absolutely.
And in my role as president of the Graduate and Professional Student Government, the first thing I had to do was assemble a team. And Caroline and Naz are two of the other 16 members of our team. And as they mentioned, international student representation and then health affairs. And so what we're trying to do this year is maintain much more visibility, much more transparency, but more than anything else, eliminate hierarchy on our team. And past iterations of the GPSG, we stuck to a strict executive board, strict cabinet, and a strict finance committee subset that was basically invisible. But what we've done this year, if you go to our website, gpsg@charlotte.edu, you'll see a picture of the full 17 of us, pretty much emblematic of shared responsibility. And I trust them, right? I trust Caroline to go out as she's been going and meeting with administrators and advocating for graduate needs and health concerns. Same thing with Naz and international student concerns. They can set their own meetings. They don't need me. They're their own advocates for the issues that they're concerned about. And they're subject matter experts, really. They're subject matter experts. And so they know way more about these topics than I do. And I think that the team I've assembled will do an outstanding job this year of making some change on our campus, some much needed change on our campus.
That's great to hear. What you mentioned the leadership team. What's it like coordinating such a large group of individuals and your team with your cabinet?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. What do you all think? What do you think?
I like it.
I like it. I like it. It's different. And like I said, in years past, the executive board, I would meet with myself and 6 other executive board members, and then the cabinet, those 6 individuals, of which Naz and Carolina are part of, they would meet independently. And it just seemed like a bunch of meetings for no reason. And so I just eliminated those lines, said, hey, we're all going to meet twice a month and get on the same page. Even on our website, we are literally listed on one page now, whereas before they were on individual pages. And so I think it's a lot of fun. It's a very powerful feeling to see all of us together as subject matter experts in graduate life, committed to the same mission.
Yeah. Okay. So we see 2 of you are wearing GPSG's new logo.
Yeah.
Was that more of a you decision, or was that the entire team came together and decided, or was it a combination of those 2 things? How did that come about? And then why move away from the old GPSG logo you all had?
That's a great question. And so the formation of the seal itself was a team effort. Marina Vucic, who is our chief of technology, she designed our new seal. But it was 100% at my direction when I learned so many things about previous iterations and versions of the GPSG, some bad habits that they inherited that I wanted to distance this version from. And so in order to show the campus that we're a new GPSG, I felt that we needed an official seal to legitimize us. And what better way to legitimize us than a seal, right? SGA has a seal, the university itself has a seal. And so I felt like we would definitely look much more official and professional with a seal.
Absolutely, for sure. Fair. I'd like to kind of move into some specific questions for each guest, if you be all right with you all. So for you, Mel, as Secretary of the National Student Affairs, what's the biggest challenge international graduate students face on our campus, and how is GPSG working to support them?
So the first thing as an international student, when they come here, is totally new country. The first thing is they have to do the adaptation with the language, with the food, the environment, everything. So this is the big challenge, the first very big challenge. And the second thing is they have to deal with a lot of paperwork. The very first paperwork they have to deal with before they face the visa is I-20, which actually ISO generate that. So there's one issue when they have the I-20, then they face the visa and they come here. And then after this, it's kind of like they come to a sea of different changes. And they have to know, look for their housing. They have to manage their own money. They have to know how they're going to get paid. If they're not going to get paid from their RA or TA, they have to find a job through a higher niner or go for outside of the campus job. Though not most of all of the visa holding students are not allowed to, so far I know. So they have to look for that too, like either they can be hired by higher niner. And there's a very limited opportunity in the higher niner website, because maybe for one job, one in-campus job, there's maybe 20 is applying for the job and 1 or 2 is going to get that job. So if you go to Starbucks and other chain shop inside our university, you will see there's a lot of Indian or other country student who is part-time working there, because they have to find out how they can pay their rent, because their rent or anything is not covered by their not gas, but the RA ship or TA ship. Yeah. That's the hardest thing. And I'll not say last, but another hardest thing is once you graduate as an international student, there's another challenge. You have to think about your OPT information. The OPT information is basically before you look for a job, you need to have a permission from US government. Like, yes, you are allowed to do the job under our surveillance because you graduate already. So for that, you have to apply for that. And right now, because of the situation, now it's taking more than 4 to 6 months to come out the current OPT card. So, for example, if as an international student, if I find a job, the hiring company is saying, we want you like in September, but my OPT card will come or I'll receive by maybe December. So there's no way I can join the company or job because they are not going to allow it. So there's a lot of hardship. So that's just what I have to deal with.
And then how is GPSG working to support that?
Yeah, so for GPSG as an international student affairs secretary, I'll be connecting with the ISSO who is working with the OPT and other kind of iterity and everything so that it can make sure that whatever hardship the student is dealing with, they're supposed to make it as easy as possible. And also the OPT challenge, either if possible, they can force them to make it the window a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Though I know it's a government issue, it's like, I'll not say not possible, but they might can do something about that. I'll talk about that. I'll just try to liaison on that.
In addition to that, what the GPSG is doing this year is that we've changed our Senate meetings into these working sessions where we tackle one large issue at the start of each meeting. Our first meeting of the year, a couple of days ago, we tackled graduate hunger, and Caroline led the first 10 minutes, and then we had a 15-minute working session among the 37 representatives there, and we tossed around ideas on the best way to mobilize them to help curb the stigma of hunger and the awareness of the resources available on campus.
Absolutely.
The next months will be focused on international students, and Naz is going to lead off with another 10-minute presentation where we'll facilitate discussion, brainstorm some ideas. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to invite a representative from the ISSO after they've heard us speak. And that's a huge transition between what has happened in previous years of GPSG. In previous years, we had this top-down approach where the administrator would come in, they talk to us. After they're done, are there any questions? No, and everybody will go home. What we're going to do is that administrator is going to sit and listen to our 37 representatives and the 17 members of the leadership team, throw out our concerns, throw out our ideas on how to best alleviate the stressors that international students are experiencing. And then that administrator can more succinctly address our concerns. And we can then determine for ourselves whether or not there's something tangible we can hold on to create change.
Right. And so with that said, you said that the vision, I guess, if I'm capturing this correctly, for GPSG in this year is having most involved, the most amount of voices to support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm calling it the year of collaboration, where we have to restructure and so that our voices are heard. And so basically that means students speak first. Right? We want to hear from each other first. Our colleagues, we know what's going on with us. We don't need a top-down approach from the university.
Yes, it's kind of like if you are sick, you have to let the doctor know what you are feeling.
That's right.
It's not like doctor cannot see what you are feeling through your face. So we should speak up first, and then they should come up with something.
Got it. Okay. And this all go back to something you said about during the meeting. I think it's a perfect transition to ask Caroline a question. So grad school can be pretty stressful. I'm a grad student myself now. It's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
What's one overlooked health and wellness resource at UNC Charlotte that students should know about on campus?
I think probably CAPS. So the Counseling and Psychological Services. They have same-day appointments. They have crisis appointments. And I believe this year they also have like a phone component as well. So if you're having a crisis, that one I think is kind of underutilized. And then they'll set you up for, I forget how many appointments a year, but then if you need more, then they'll connect you with outside resources to help you do that as well. And then for hunger, we have Psych Out Hunger. So what you do is you fill out the application and then 10 business days, then they approve your application. I think you get 15 to 20 meal swipes. Then there's also the food pantry, which is a wonderful resource on campus. Joshua Boyd, I believe, is one who now runs it, and he's just done amazing things with it. So now there's a commercial-sized fridge, there's a freezer, and you really try to revamp it to make it more accessible.
Got it. And with that said, in connection to what I saw to say a little bit ago, would you say that how do you think is the best way to approach graduate students and let them know about these resources on campus?
I think just being as vocal as possible about it. So we're working at trying to get like the food pantry on TV screens. We're trying to get more emails promoting the food pantry and free resources to help students. And then we're also having our graduate student organizations go back to their people and say, hey, this is our problem. This is how we do it. That way we can reach more people. With, I think, 37 grad organizations and however many members they have, that's a lot of reach to help with this problem.
That is a lot of reach. And I'm glad you brought up the TV screens. I think this goes back to you all's vision and your mission this year. Whenever I walk into the student game, has on the TV screens, GPSG's massive crest on the screen.
Yeah.
It's pretty flagrant, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, how has that strategy been working for you all? Have you been seeing more success with that, or is that?
Tremendous success. So a couple of days ago, our first city meeting, we packed the room. Every seat, 50 seats were filled, right? And so in previous years, the GPSG was averaging about 15% attendance at that Senate meeting. And so our aggressive promotion with the TV screens, the 10 by 5 foot banner, reminding the graduate student leaders that this meeting is happening. But moreover, we have liaisons this year where our 17 members have been divided up and dispatched out to the graduate students organizations. And they kind of, give them gentle reminders, but let them build relationships and know that we are legitimately concerned. There's one thing I wanted to add to Caroline's statement about the hunger and how we're addressing it is that we're also being a whole lot more relatable. And by that, I mean, we're sharing our personal experiences. Myself, I have been a recipient of food pantry services within the last year, right? And so we all have struggles, and we all know that the best way to connect with another graduate student is just to tell your own personal experiences. So that removes that barrier of stigma for asking for help.
Right.
And only other students can do that. And so our relatability, I think, was going to go along with this year.
I feel like opening the other students to stories as well. So anyone else who's facing hunger struggles, I want to hear about it. I want to hear what barriers you have, what you like on campus, what you don't like. Just get as many stories as possible. So that way, whenever we are going to administration and trying to push for change, we're actually being relatable. We are asking what the students actually need.
Absolutely. So with all that said, SL, as a person steering the ship, what has surprised you the most so far this year?
Well, I'm so glad you phrased it just like that, as steering the ship, because I don't necessarily say I'm steering the ship. Okay. However, I have drawn the map and the directions, and I know the destination. But what I'm doing this year is we're literally doing something I call team driving. And so in our Senate meetings, I'm not the only one talking. In the past, whoever the president of this organization is, they're standing there for 45 minutes giving out information. It's a top-down approach. This year, I spoke the least at our meeting. Caroline led and other leaders, about 7 different members of our leadership team, takes about 5 or 6 minutes to literally drive the meeting. And I think that is absolutely fundamental to what we want, right? Because engagement and involvement is an action, right? And so we're proving through our actions that we want everyone involved, and we're not doing a strict hierarchy. But I have drawn the directions of where we're going to go, and everyone else takes the wheel at different times, for sure.
Definitely like that approach. I appreciate that approach. So now that we've talked about a few different issues, I guess, what are the major issues that UPSG is planning to tackle this year, whether that be student hunger or research funding or health access, or is it something else?
Well, Caroline's mentioned to me lactation compliance. Our university is not lactation station compliance. If you want to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, so right now it's really difficult to get access to lactation spaces. There's one in the library and then one in the other library. But federal compliance wants it to be within a 5 to 7 minute walking period. So back when I had my baby, it was about a 30-minute walk for me. Now that I'm bioinformatics, it's about a 40-minute walk. And so when you have to express your breast milk every 2 to 3 hours, it takes anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. You can't be walking within 5 or 10 minutes because otherwise, where does your day go? So we've been working with the Student Health Center to try and get those spaces. So we identified about 4 more locations, and we also found a vendor. So right now we're securing funding to make it happen.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely not something that someone would regularly think about.
Right. Yeah. When I was a master's student, my advisor gave me her space and said, here, you can use this to, pump your breast milk. But I don't think everyone has access to that. I was just really fortunate on an amazing master advisor.
Wow. Say pretty.
Yeah. As 2 non-traditional students, we represent that demographic of graduate students. And Naz obviously represents the international concerns. And one thing I want to circle back to is this OPT ID that Naz mentioned earlier. That's a really, really large barrier that I don't think we really truly appreciate what that does to the life of an international graduate student. They spend years here at UNC Charlotte educating themselves, working in labs, in many cases doing internships for no money. But when it's finally time to graduate and earn the six-figure salary that most STEM majors are going to make out the gate, they can't start work if there's a delay in processing that OPT ID so that they can legally get paid in the United States. And if they don't immediately get that, as Naz mentioned it, within 90 days, then they can apply one time. But if they don't get it again, they have to leave the country, right? And so they would spend all those years at UNC Charlotte earning the credentials, earning the PhD, earning the master's, but then have to return and can't earn any income here. And that's typically due to the administration, the U.S. governmental administration and power and the delays that can exist there. But we're interested in knowing if there's something that UNC Charlotte can do to protect our graduate students from having to succumb to that.
With that said, you talked about collaboration and addressing the issues and creating the space for students to be able to talk with you all. I know previously, before you came to the GPSG office, the space was more of a storage.
It was.
Right.
It was. And it was.
And so how did you reform that space and made it available where now maybe all three of you, Naz, Caroline, or SL, can go in that space, host meetings, bring students to that?
Well, Naz and I were meeting today in there.
Yeah.
You describe, what is it like in there, Naz?
It's like an office. Now it's like a home, actually. Previously, it was like, oh my God, I don't know that any people survive there or live there. It's beautiful.
It's really nice.
It's like really office.
Yeah. The table, local chairs for collaboration. I think you have bottled water in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm very proud of it. We're going to get Tone, our media director, to flash some images of it on this podcast so that people can see. And I kick myself every day for not taking before pictures because it was quite the scene. I don't want to throw any storage closet. It was a storage closet. And because your office is next door.
It is.
And you have been in there before. You know them before.
Well, I do know them before. And yeah, the storage closet, I think, kind of detracted from your ability to even bring students to you all.
Oh, yeah, you can bring anybody.
No, I mean, I don't know how anyone, I mean, no one was.
No, they didn't use it. The computers were hooked up and thrown in the corner. They didn't use it. They just dropped off their stuff and left. We're not doing that this year. It's the year of collaboration. And many graduate students just stop by and just give me ideas. And sometimes mandates, but that's what I want. That's what I want.
Last little hot topic priority I have on my little agenda here.
For sure.
So constitutional changes, string elections were coming up. They're on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
What should students expect and how can they get involved in shaping GPSG's future?
That's a very good question. And so what we've done this year that's totally different from any other year is when you go to Niner Engage and you try to become a member of GPSG and you select join, you will receive a letter from our campus committee representative. Her name is Maya Morrison. And Maya Morrison's letter introduces herself and is asking that graduate student if they want to volunteer to become a part of the graduate research symposium planning. In the past, when you select that button, nothing would happen. But now you immediately get an email from Maya inviting you to get involved. The reason why we did that is because every graduate student on this campus is automatically a member of GPSG. So it's an unnecessary step, really. But if you're going to take that step, we're not approving you in Niner Engage. But what we are, we're going to glean all of your information. We're going to reach out to you, and we're going to put you to work.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap up, what's one quirky or funny behind-the-scenes moment from this year's GPSG meetings that students would never guess is going?
Not anybody yet.
I don't think we've had any yet.
I mean, I haven't had any yet.
I mean,
anything funny happens?
Well, we just got the polos, the new polos with the seals, very similar to yours. And Faria, who's our finance committee representative, the day after, put in the chat, I need a new polo. Mine shrank too much. And so
Mine shrank too much.
yeah, so hers was teeny tiny. She couldn't wear it for the first Senate meeting. I had to run to the print shop and get her a new polo the day of the first Senate meeting. And so I wouldn't necessarily say it's funny, but it was something unexpected. That's for sure.
I don't know. I feel like everyone's laughing down the line. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was stressful. That's for sure.
Yes. So if each of you could describe GPSG in one word, but that word can't be leadership or service, what would that word be?
Now let's go first.
We're hearing you. And we can be your voice. Just don't hesitate. Talk to us.
But that's not one word now. It's one word.
We're hearing you.
For sure.
I feel like your was going to be out here and
It should be, because you know me well. You figured me out, but I'm going to choose a different one. It should be, though.
I think transparent. So we're trying our best to be transparent to the students, but also we're advocating for transparency with UNC Charlotte. So everyone knows what's going on and everybody has a voice.
That's amazing. So
Platform. Every member of our team has their own platform. I believe a strong leader creates other leaders and gives them the space and the platform to be leaders, to do the same, right? To recruit other leaders. And in that way, we all are empowered to be a part of the change that's happening on this campus.
Okay. That's a little lightning round for you. 3 different questions. So stick with me. What's your favorite campus study spot? Best late night food in Charlotte? And what song should be GPSG's unofficial anthem this year? Yeah, we'll start down.
So what was the first question? Like, what was the
Favorite campus study spot?
So I'll say library. But if I say favorite spot to sit on, I'll say backside of the student union. Not that space.
Best late night food in Charlotte?
Cookout.
What? Very bad.
Yeah.
And then what song should be GPSG's unofficial anthem this year?
I say we shall overcome.
We shall overcome.
Yeah. I'll say that.
Okay. Caroline?
Favorite spot, I would say Botanical Gardens. I wrote most of my master's thesis just sitting in the gardens.
What?
Late night, I would say Jay's Ice Cream.
Jay's Ice Cream.
And it's not like food, but it's amazing. Song, I have no idea.
It's a little early for a song. For us to have,
To be determined.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't start the fire.
That's it. We did not start the fire, but we are trying to put it out. I love that.
So, your favorite campus study spot?
I won't say it's my favorite study spot. It's my favorite spot to hang out, which is the New Prospector. New Prospector. It is amazing. If you haven't been to the New Prospector, go to the New Prospector, because it looks like it doesn't belong on the campus. It's just, it's top notch for sure. And then as far as my study spot, my TA office in Derringer Hall. That TA office is where I have these series know about that. And I'm going to go with We Didn't Start the Fire from the song, because I promise you, that's perfect.
And then what's your best late night food and show?
I'm asleep by 9 p.m. every day. And so I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and do all of the things to get started. And so I don't do late night anything.
Yeah. So let's turn this. What's your favorite breakfast stop and show?
I like Social 704, Miss Jackie's omelets. Woo! Miss Jackie and Social 704 makes a fresh omelet in the Union. That's where I am.
Push me out.
Thank you.
Well, one last question for you all before we wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a fun one. Let's see. We got some options here. Okay. Imagine UPSG has a Marvel superhero squad. Who's Captain America? Who's Iron Man? And who's Loki?
Then
It's a hard one.
it is, because we're such a new team, we haven't really been to war yet or seen what people can do. It's a hard question to answer. But what I will do is just pivot and say this for the future podcast. That we want to do this about once a month. Okay. And we want to do deep dives. Like, this is the first introduction to who we are, the changes that we're making. But Caroline, Naz, and other members of our team are going to do these deep dive topics about the real issues that are affecting graduate students, housing, food, and international students that we mentioned. So all types of injustices that we're experiencing. Just yesterday, Caroline and I were on a Zoom with Josh Boyd with the food pantry, and we were pressuring him to get him to change a policy with summer access at the food pantry, and how currently graduate students can't access the food pantry if they don't demonstrate that they're enrolled in summer classes. Well, guess what? Some graduate programs don't offer some classes. And so those students go hungry, so to speak. And it's things like that we're going to do future podcasts on, that are deep dives in how and what we're doing on a daily basis to combat those things and push for policy changes. Just as Naz and I met today and spoke about some injustices going on with ISSO and how some of them are just flat out rude. Some of them are just flat out rude to international students. And I don't know if it's xenophobia that persists in America in general, that's why they're rude, or what, but that's gotta stop too. Okay? That's gotta stop.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you all. This has been a great session. Sir, thank you very much. It's been a good session.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all. And this has been the GPSG podcast.
Go Knives.